Happy Monday, everybody. I hope you all had a great weekend. Welcome back to the channel for the third Ask Me Anything episode of the 2021-22 season. This is the second Monday in a row with a new episode, so I'm not quite sure if there's going to be another one next Monday, or maybe I'll have a week in between this time, but I'll let you guys know. I'll give you an update in a video sometime later this week. And of course, before we get started, I do want to give a huge thank you to every single one of you who took the time out of your day to go ahead and leave a comment on the post. I wish I could feature them all, but just know I read every single one and I appreciate all of you guys. So with that all being said, let's go ahead and get started with the first question. This one comes from Brody Warden, who says, is Freddie back or just getting carried by a good team? This is actually a question I've seen a couple of people ask, or something along the lines of this, and my answer would be Freddie looks to be back. I would say he's actually a big reason as to why the Carolina Hurricanes have been so dominant this season. I know not everybody likes advanced analytics, but I really like to use goals saved above expected for goaltenders because it isolates a goaltender's performance as to where goals against average, save percentage, a lot of that has to do with how good the team is. And from the start of the season up until now, Freddie Andersen has been one of the league leaders in that category. It looks like he's back, and I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that he's just fully healthy now as well. This next comment comes from Bernie, who says, does Evgeny Svechnikov make Detroit look stupid now that he's playing good with the Jets? I don't really think it's going to make the Red Wings look stupid. It just wasn't going to work out in Detroit. It seemed like the team and the organization had given up on him relatively quickly, and I feel like a big part of that is because Steve Yzerman took over and Evgeny Svechnikov was a Ken Holland draft pick, not a Steve Yzerman draft pick. It just wasn't going to work out. As a Red Wings fan who wanted Evgeny Svechnikov to succeed more than anything, I'm really happy to see him doing well in Winnipeg. I'm happy to see him getting opportunities to play in their top six with some really talented players. I hope he sticks there, I really do. With Andrew Kopp most likely leaving as a UFA in the offseason, hopefully maybe they view Evgeny Svechnikov as a Kopp replacement kind of thing. I hope he sticks around there long term. Moving along now, you can see the name on the screen. I'm really bad with names. I'm not going to try to pronounce it because I know I'm just going to butcher it, but the question is, who's the most promising prospect right now and why? This question kind of depends on what your definition of a prospect is at this point. I'm going to go with a guy who hasn't played in the NHL yet, and that is the most recent first overall pick, Owen Power. Heading into the NHL draft, Owen Power was viewed as the safe pick, the player who's most likely a lock to be a real solid top 4 NHL defenseman, but he may not have a ton of offensive upside, may not be a power play quarterback. Owen Power had 16 points in 26 games last season for Michigan, and this season already in just 12 games, he's up to 18 points, so 2 points higher than his total from last season in just 12 games. His offensive game is really coming along, and it seems like this is a guy who might actually have potential to be a number 1 defenseman on a team, and that wasn't really the consensus heading into the draft. This next comment comes from R2 Vinica. I hope I said that correctly. The question is, how many assists will Nugent Hopkins get before he gets his first goal of the season? As I'm writing this, he has 17 assists in 13 games. We actually got our answer to this question last night because Ryan Nugent Hopkins did in fact score a goal against the St. Louis Blues, and watching that game from start to finish, you could tell Ryan Nugent Hopkins was fed up with not having a goal on the season. I believe he ended up finishing the game with like 8 shots on goal, which was a career high for them. He was not passing, he was shooting everything. So it was nice to see him get his first of the season, get that monkey off his back, but even without scoring, Ryan Nugent Hopkins is such an important player to the Oilers team. He's a great playmaker, and he knows his role. He knows that he should just dish the puck to guys like Draisaitl and McDavid, and there's a good chance he's going to get a lot of points. Next up, we have a comment from Chill Blinton, who says, with Seth Jarvis reaching his 9-game limit before his contract kicks in and players returning from injury and illness, what do the Canes do with Jarvis? Do they make a roster change to keep him on board, send him back to the minors for another season, or other? This is honestly a really tough question. Seth Jarvis to me has been very impressive and very noticeable. Although he only has 2 points in 6 games, when you're watching the Hurricanes play, you notice Seth Jarvis, the little things he does. They're using him in a lot of different situations as well. He's getting power play time. The Hurricanes still have a couple of games to make this decision. Like I said, he only has 6 games played, so he can play 3 more before they burn a year of his entry-level deal, and I feel like this is just going to come down to if Carolina thinks they're a better team with him in the lineup or without him in the lineup. I don't really think they're going to worry about the year of his contract all that much because they're a team that's trying to win right now, and if they deem Seth Jarvis makes them a better team and puts them in a better position to win, I really can't see them sending him down. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see what happens happens. I personally would like to see him stay up. Moving on now, this next comment comes from Matthew Z, who says Carter Hart for Vezina, coming off 39 of 40 saves versus the Hurricanes as I'm writing this. Also, how far do you think the Flyers will go this year? To answer the second part, I think they're going to go as far as their goaltending takes them. Obviously, that's a pretty boring answer, but we saw the type of season they had as a team last season when Carter Hart was bad, and now this season, while he's playing really good, they look a lot better. That's not a coincidence. And as far as Carter Hart for Vezina, I mean, maybe. He seems like he's getting more and more comfortable as the season is rolling along. Martin Jones giving the Flyers good games as the backup as well. I think that is helping out a lot. It's taking some of the pressure off of Carter Hart. It's nice to see him having such a bounce back season. I mean, last year he was statistically one of the worst goaltenders in the league, and so far this season he's been one of the best. Goaltending is just so unpredictable. As I'm sure a lot of you know, I actually predicted Carter Hart to win the Vezina last season, which didn't turn out to be a great pick, but it looks like I may have been 1 year early on that prediction. This next comment comes from Josh Tim, who says, would you rather the Red Wings get another high draft pick or make the playoffs? This is a pretty easy question for me. I would rather them make the playoffs. I'm never gonna cheer for my team to lose. Now, would the Red Wings making the playoffs this year be the best thing for the team? Probably not, because if they make it, they're most likely going to get bounced pretty easily in round one. I really don't think it's the end all be all for Detroit to get a top 5 draft pick this year. They have the core intact. I mean, Seider and Raymond both look to be ahead of schedule. Simon Edvinsson is dominating over in Sweden. Veleno is looking like he's on the cusp of becoming a full-time NHLer. Nedeljkovic is playing really well. Larkin, Bertuzzi, Vrana, Zadina. The core is there. Now, I don't think they're ready just yet to contend for a Stanley Cup or anything crazy like that, but I think the time is coming as to where it's time to fill in the pieces around the core guys. You know, get the Blake Colemans of the world, get the Barclay Goodrows, those type of players. I could ramble on about the Red Wings for this entire video, so I'll leave it there, but yeah, my answer would definitely be for them to make the playoffs this year. Next up, this comment comes from Drew Ruff, who says, thoughts on the Avs, Isles, Golden Knights rough start, all cup contenders hovering around 500 right now. Yeah, it's been a really weird start to the season. Me personally, I would not worry about any of these teams, especially the Avs and Golden Knights. I mean, the biggest reason why those teams are off to slow starts is because injuries, and it's not just injuries to role players, depth defensemen, or anything like that. All their best players, it seems like, have been injured to start the season. Those two teams are going to be just fine, and I think the Islanders will too, as far as they go. I mean, yeah, they made it to the conference finals in each of the past 2 postseasons, but they haven't notoriously been a dominant regular season team. For the Islanders, it's just about getting to the playoffs, and then they can do their damage once they get there. Another Red Wings question here. This one comes from Ryan Sato or Seto. Do you think Raymond and Seider can get 65 and 50 points respectively, and if they are among the top of the Calder race, who would you give the award to? I think 65 is achievable for Raymond, but as a rookie, his first time going through an 82 game season, I imagine there's going to be some dry spells throughout the year, so to be more realistic, I'm going to say he finishes between like 55 and 60, somewhere around there. And for Seider, I think 50 points is a little rich. My expectation actually for him coming into the season was like 25 points and to be very good defensively, so I underrated him coming into the year. He's scoring a lot more than I thought he would. For Seider, I'm going to say between like 35 and 40. I mean, if he puts up 50 points and continues to play the way he is right now defensively, he may not only win the Calder, he could be in the Norris conversation as well. And as far as who I would give the Calder to between the two of those players, if the season ended today, I think it would be more at Seider. It's just his overall impact on the game is insane, and don't get me wrong, Lucas Raymond obviously is having a big impact on the team as well, but Seider is already the Red Wings' #1 defenseman. You take Seider off this team and their record would probably not even be close to what it is right now. This next question comes from Karen, who says, do you think Draisaitl and McDavid can both put up over 120 points each? I'm going to say they do that, and they do it pretty easily, honestly. I seen a stat yesterday, I don't think it was including last night's game against the Blues where they both recorded points, but in their last 82 games, I think McDavid has like 150 points or something ridiculous like that, and Draisaitl's last 82, he has 129. These two just don't make any sense. The numbers they put up are video game-like. I would honestly be surprised if either of them finish with under 120 points. I think if they stay healthy, they break this pretty easily and are probably closer to like 135. And now for the final question of the video. This one comes from Hunter Hicks, who says, is Cole Sillinger's level of production sustainable at an NHL level? A year of his contract was just burned, so the Jackets intend to keep him around, but how long can he keep going? I think there's a good chance Cole Sillinger can continue to score at this pace throughout the entirety of the season, maybe be, slightly above half a point per game, finish with around 45 points. I think that's achievable for him. Columbus is playing him in a position where he can succeed. He's not playing with fourth line scrubs or anything like that. He's playing with some pretty good players. Similar to what I said about Lucas Raymond, where this is his first time playing a full 82-game season. I'm sure there's going to be some dry spells in there. Also, after getting a first look at Cole Sillinger, teams are going to start to game plan for him as well, but overall, I think he's in for a pretty solid rookie season. Again, my expectation is around 40 to 45 points. I think he's the real deal, and I'm pretty excited to watch him play against the Red Wings tonight. So that is going to do it for the third Ask Me Anything episode of the new season. I hope you guys are enjoying this series as much as I am. Again, I'll give you an update in a video sometime later this week as to if there will be another Ask Me Anything this coming Monday or if there's going to be a week in between. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy today's video and you want to see more Ask Me Anythings throughout the season, then be sure to drop a like. That is the best way to show your support. And most importantly, if this was your first time checking out the channel and you want more NHL content just like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button, and I'll talk to you soon.